So moving on, our next speaker is Dr. David Soldani, CTO, Huawei Australia, and Chairman of IMDA 5G Task Force. Today, he will be talking about 5G for a better world. So I would like to ask Mr. David to please share his thoughts about it. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Can you see me too?
Yes.
Thank you for having me today. And what about the screen? The slides are visible?
Yes.
Right, so what I prepared here is just an introduction to how 5G could contribute to make our world better as it is today. And this presentation is about the view we are having towards 2025. Yeah, just to start, I would like to present quickly what a better world is. And I have 10 points to describe the expectation we are having for a better planet. And the first thing is about that all the repetitive and inefficient tasks. So tasks we don't want to be performed. We don't want to perform. We are expecting to be replaced by machines. So something that will do it for us. And on this slide, you have the enabling technology, but more importantly, you may see the changes we're expecting in the enterprises overall. So all the enterprises by 2025 are expected to use cloud services. But in particular, you may see here that they will have a massive adoption of artificial intelligence. And that means, in practice, introducing automation in many tasks and integrating services from cloud, but also from the edge devices, as most of the edge devices will incorporate an AI chipset, so an inference model. The second expectation we are having is that the danger, or most of the dangers, say, will be forecast, and therefore having living in a safe environment is expected to be the norm. So we're expecting that the technology will allow us to predict bushfire, but also mitigate them rapidly, or introduce solutions in environments that are really unsafe, such as mining, as you have in this picture. Or even I believe strongly that we could predict we could have predicted many of the attacks we had in the recent years, especially the one in Europe, such as the attacks in Brussels. And that would be possible, of course, by integrating in real time many sources of data, especially video from digital cameras. Also, what we are expecting by 2025 is that the distance will no longer limit our vision. So basically, the connectivity will be such that we will have a seamless experience and full immersive experience, independent of our location, and we can enjoy many new services. So like gaming going to cloud, or we could have a similar type of experience of being in at a stadium by sitting, for example, at home on the sofa, and the rendering will allow us to have a full immersive view of the different matches. The different type of applications will be also available in various sectors, such as for business, car manufacturers, automotive, but I think most importantly, we will see the development of remote education, as I will show you later, also triggered by the fact of the coronavirus, that people can no longer assemble in classroom. Another important trend or expectation is that the medical services will be available away from a hospital. So we like to stay home. So we'll be able at home, and we will definitely have a cheaper and better care as we are having today. And there are many enablers to this vision. So the expectation are that about 10% of our house will host robotic platforms, and some of the drivers are the global population aging, and that is aging seriously by 2025, 2030. Many developed countries will face the aging problem. So the target here is to have people remaining active and independent as long as possible, and the introduction of this technology will help us achieve this goal. Another important expectation is about the connectivity. So the connectivity is going to be truly distributed. So anything and everything will be pretty much connected. So it's not just about connected smartphones, which are expecting a substantial rise from 3 to 8 billion. And by 2025, the world population is expected to reach out the 8.2 billion. But especially what we are seeing here, the connectivity will reach out many homes, and there will be about 10 times home more connected. And many new services will come along with connectivity, and those services will place a very stringent requirement on the infrastructure, as I will show you next. Another important trend is that a new digital ecosystem will emerge in the cloud. And what is it? So basically, as we have assisted today from the web 2.0, now we have the social communities and the social type of applications. The next step will be the exchange of experience in the cloud by artificial intelligence or intelligent, I would say, entities. So that means practically we will massively adopt the virtual software agent. So today is still available. Some of the some providers that they make available this platform, but it's not truly and really adopted. There's still, say, some obstacle to achieve a massive adoption of those agents. By 2025, we are expecting that 90% of the population will make use of those services, and this knowledge, this experience will be then exchanged and made available in the cloud, amplifying dramatically the number of possible use cases. Computing is at our fingertips, so different type of rendering solutions would be available, in particular the holographic rendering, so that we will have an easy way to access the information, but also run any sort of computations. Then another important trend we are expecting is that all facilities, means not only the appliances, but the robotic platforms can independently learn and provide a number of tasks. So here you do have an example of two types of robotic platforms. So on the one hand, it could be like your teacher to learn new things, even dancing in this case. On the other hand, you may think of service robots that will help us to perform many tasks. For example, from logistics down to cleaning and surveillance tasks, like assisting people and observing what the people are doing, especially older people, and then have a rapid way to intervene if something bad happens or if there is a need for communicating. Then another two important trends is the first one is about the intelligence that we're expecting reaching out to all industry, all vertical sectors, and the information communication technology as represented in those graphs will help us reduce dramatically the greenhouse gas emissions. And you may see here, our prediction is that we have about a factor 10 in reductions of power saving overall. Actually would be energy saving, so it's in watts per hour. So this type of apologies here is in energy saving. At the same time, the corresponding greenhouse gas emission will be reduced. And also what we're expecting here is that you see on this graph that the information communication technology infrastructure will also consume energy. And what we are expecting is that comparing to the same type of services we could have with today's network, also the information communication technology infrastructure will reduce dramatically the energy consumption. And our estimate is that for each connection established, we will have a saving of about 80%. Also due to the fact that new way of generating energy will be massively available, and this is the case of the solar photovoltaic system, in addition to artificial intelligence introduced all over the network so that certain tasks can be stopped if, for example, there is no traffic, or the resources within the infrastructure can be also optimally set in order to provide the same quality and user experience, for example, but with a massive reduction of energy and therefore reduction of power dissipation. Now, looking if those are the expectations or what would define the better world, looking in, beyond, so looking towards 2025, we still have many challenges. And this slide here just summarize and categorize some of those within the business, network, and operation. Of course, the business, we do need new business models and understand, especially from our telecoms suppliers, how to monetize the new services, especially in collaboration with the vertical sector. Then the network itself, we need to simplify it dramatically and also think of achieving trustworthy equipment and resilient systems. And then the operation has to be also simplified. And for example, we are discussing about the autonomous network driving, meaning that we could launch new services with the minimal amount of human intervention. In addition to this, like Mark presented earlier, we have new challenges or new opportunities coming along with the coronavirus pandemic. And here you have some examples of analysis studies made in China. And so the first effect we have seen here is that we have, during the pandemic effects, we have spent much more time at home and connected. And at the same time, what we have done here is we have shifted our location to work. And for example, I'm still working from home. And more importantly, what we have seen here, that most of the university or institutes or anyway educational platform have digitalized. And you may see here how many more millions people have started, students have started joining virtual classes since March this year. And beyond that, what has changed also is the way that the health services to people are handled. For example, in China now, they do have a way to bring into the smartphone using a digital healthcare code all the information necessary for this particular person to be entered handle or even attend public events, so that in real time it is possible to scan and see if this particular person can access, is authorized to a certain location or not. Well, beyond this, also looking at the data received from Europe, what we have seen is a massive demand of connectivity. And demand of connectivity has been really sudden. So that usually our telecom suppliers, they plan carefully, so they monitor the traffic, then they can predict it with today very good, so I would say, accuracy. But the changes have been really rapidly, and from a prediction of months, we would have a need to change the configuration of the network or even increase capacity overnight, say. Then the other requirements we have received, that if before we were thinking of providing good quality of service just where people usually work, so in the CBDs, now I am expecting extremely good performance, even working from home, especially if you are running courses or lectures online. Similarly, the expectation of having a much larger reach and coverage is something that was not predicted earlier. So we need to find a way to bring the connectivity with decent quality of end user experience well beyond the city center, and that has to be done possibly with limited effort from humans. And another important consequence or trend we have seen with the coronavirus is now the massive acceleration of the digital transformation of the enterprises that, for example, if during the first pandemic, so looking at research back in 2003, that was a boost towards driving the business to consumer with a new online type of application. Today, it's really something that has amplified the adoption and the need of create services enabling the business to business, and therefore, as a result, as a consequence, as a need to accelerate the enterprise cloudification. So now, if those are the challenge, we can also see there are plenty of opportunities, because the 5G, as I said earlier, has not been conceived just to bring connectivity to the smartphones, but it is a technology that we connect anything and everything. So from the IoT in general, consumer IoT, industrial IoT, but also the big machines. So means communications of two elements that require ultra reliable and low latency services. And there are business opportunity, and this market analysis is from the GSMA. So the opportunity are well beyond the business to customers. So we are here I'm showing the business to business opportunity. So you see here, it is an addressable market, potential addressable market of trillions. And when we look into the validity of the business model, what we found out is that the business model is mature. For example, in the media entertainment sectors, the financial services, retails, but there's still a lot to do if we really want to embrace and tap on different type of other vertical sectors. I would say mostly interesting here is the transportation sectors, smart manufacturing, even thinking now about Australia, that for the new upcoming investments. So what we need to do in practice to embrace those new opportunities is, okay, we can do many things. I've just extract what I think are the most important things. First, it's time for our telecom service provider to change the business model. So we need to find a way to change the business model and shift from today's, which is pretty much around prices and service the consumer, so C stands for consumers, so and pay for what you consume in terms of data, speed, and the time you are connecting. We need to shift from this model to something that monetizes differently. So we monetize by providing new services, so like network plan. That could be done already earlier, but now with the cloudification of the network, there is much more to do. So there are much more value that the telecom service provider can add. The second is the offering moving towards the virtual networks, so network slicing. We need to find a way to create new slices, new slice templates. So the possibility of exposing your capability to the network and express them in terms of service over agreement, so that the tenants, so that the vertical sector can apply and purchase, receive the slicing services in terms of a number of parameters. You have just at least some of them, and that would allow the telecom service provider to add value to the particular slice or virtual network that will be created end-to-end to support that particular vertical sector. There could be a mining sector, there could be automotive, there could be smart manufacturing, and so forth. And then we can think about adding on top other type of services. For example, with the 5G, looking at the location services, it goes well beyond the capabilities you're having today with the GPS. So the GPS is not working indoor. Also, the accuracy is really limited. So with the 5G release 16, we are going down to 3 meters accuracy. And with the 17, we go to 30 centimeters, including indoor applications. So that could be a service of value that could be added on top of the offering. So we need to change the business model. In addition to this, changing the business model, it will be only possible or viable, lead to a positive business case if and only if there is an ecosystem ready for adopting the new technology. So the suggestion here is that just jump ahead of your competitors and start fostering and build an ecosystem around your offering. And the suggestion here is to leverage the business growing with the consumer. So as virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, other type of services enhancing the consumer experience will increase and drive new revenue, will be drivers for new revenues. The suggestion here is to build something on top of this and create an ecosystem of partners, co-partners, so that this cake can be created and a number of players around you can generate new values and then achieve later an economy of scale. And another suggestion is just don't wait. So we just to start now, as 5G is ready. So the system is now completed as we speak. We have already the release 16 finalized, frozen, and that means all the enhancements of the infrastructure, looking at the industrial IoT, for example, are already well defined. And we would need now to jump into this 20 plus trillions of business opportunity and tap on the remaining part of this pie chart, which our estimate it is around 80% of the overall business, considering that currently if the offering would remain the same, only 20% of this business would be addressed. So to conclude this presentation, I would like to share with you now our view and also my view of how the network has, so the information communication technology has to transform in order to meet those requirements, and in particular, capture this business to business opportunity beyond business to consumers. So what we are expecting here, it is an infrastructure which has the following characteristics. So superconnectivity has to be adaptive, so an elastic system, and possibly convergent, which means the system has to work independent on how that particular end user, whether it is a robotic platform or a person, doesn't matter, access the network. He has to work and use the same type of security mechanisms to have in place. And in particular, needs to be dramatically simplified compared to the infrastructure today. And I mean, our telco service provider needs to be brave enough and rapid enough to make the system new and retire the old components. And then we have plenty of synergies amplify the synergies among the different type of technologies so that this system can be rapidly in place. That just quickly, what I mean and what are the expectation and needs within those four categories. So we start for the superconnectivity. So if we want to truly support the service application I mentioned earlier, we need to achieve the performance targets as illustrated on this slide. So business to customer, business to home, for example, to my home, my connectivity, and then how a telco service provider could provide business to another organization, so business to business. So see here, we are talking about gigabit speeds, and half the speed in the reverse direction means uplink, and that is expected me as a consumer, but also me working from home, and me for offer a particular service to an enterprise. I said that the system has to be ready for providing about 100% of the services on cloud platforms and enable massive adoption of artificial intelligence. And today we are also talking about knowledge as a service. In this case, the performance are much more stringent, and we are expecting end-to-end latency below 15 to 10 milliseconds, unachievable with existing technology, and a reliability of 5.9. The network has to be elastic. As I mentioned earlier, we need to be ready to increase the capacity of that particular slice, and do it in a way that I am able to immediately roll out and make available the new services. And I have to be capable using this system to provide a converged type of end user experience, which means that if I am now working well and connected well from home, I'm also expecting these services using my mobile phone, or when I am returning back to the offices. And the deployment has to be elastic in a way that using the software platform and virtual network, I can rapidly increase the capability of that particular network slice instance. The networks to be simplified, and when we look at the details already with the deployment of the 5G in its standalone configuration, the system is really simple. So we're talking about a single unified core capable of integrating any kind of access, and also the better service running through the network have been simplified. And as 5G has been designed, it is an easy way to integrate the cloud on top, or computing capacity around the network, and artificial intelligence across all over the places. Two more slides to understand how we can achieve this type of infrastructure. And that has to be done by leveraging the convergence of two types of technology. So on the one hand, we need to leverage the ongoing overlapping of communication and information technologies. And on the other hand, we need to integrate both the information communication technology and industrial digital technology, so that we can shift from a network today design and conceive, especially to deal with the consumer, so means people, to something at a later time. We're expecting that by 2020, with when the 5G will be the dominant infrastructure, will handle any kind of service, especially business to business type of communications, well beyond, say, meeting the end users, so the people requirements. And this is basically my last slide, that I try here to present also a roadmap to achieve the vision and realize the vision I've tried to present today. Is that today we are basically here, and we do have an infrastructure in place that is up to maximum, providing connectivity to end users, and somehow, say, offer services remotely. So you may think of teleoperating drones, for example, to something that later will allow us to have a 360 high definition, augmented virtual reality, and mixed reality. And that's basically the scope of this presentation. And the fundamental enabling technology is 5G IP version 6, its evolution, the fixed access to 5G infrastructure, especially the core network, the Wi-Fi version 6, and the experience expected by 2020 is to have a 1 to 10 gigabit access, independent of what I'm using, but it is the new radio itself, Wi-Fi, or it could be like a 10 gigabit PON. For then achieving by 2030 the design and specification of the next generation technology of 6G, with a new way of networking, and also will enhance the way we access the system through Wi-Fi and fixed. Here, it's all under discussion now. It is just a vision. We have recently started collecting requirements. We're expecting, say, 100, so 10 times faster connectivity, and in particular, networks much more reliable, shifting from 5 nines to 7 nines, and provide connectivity from 1 million devices per square kilometer up to 10 millions. And the thinking we are having now is that we will shift from an information word to an intelligent word, where AI will be the fundamental AI, and leading also to knowledge as service, the fundamental enabling technology towards an intelligent word, for then having a word which is characterized by holographic rendering, with I would say an infinite number of possibility, from surgery to communication, and performing new tasks. That's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today, and I thank you so much for having me in this conference.
Thanks a lot, Dr. David. It was a great presentation. So if there are any questions from the audience, please feel free to ask. Okay, so I have a quick question. What do you think, which industries will benefit more from 5G as compared to others?
You mean which business or?
Yeah, which businesses, business domains and industries will benefit more from this 5G network?
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the key question, and I try to capture that on one of my slides. So benefit in terms also of potential revenues from the sector. I think initially we will see a massive adoption of 5G to provide an enhanced mobile broadband type of experience. So we are talking about virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and those applications are of various kinds, say from media and entertainments down to we can have also industrial type of application. For then, I think the key point will be just the benefit will go to all sectors that today they have a stringent demand of low latency in I'm thinking about connectivity, and once the object is connected to be, the connectivity has to be about 100% reliable. So those sectors are pretty much all what we can think of. So we can think of smart manufacturing, transportation, thinking of autonomous driving. So today we can at the maximum have a thinking about connected cars. We have just experimented the teleoperated driving. So the next step would be like to have a car with a limited type of human intervention, 100% connected, not just robotic platform that are autonomous itself, so you don't need connectivity. We want to have something more than autonomous platform. Public security, healthcare, for example, a number of applications, energy, and any kind of public facility. So I think that the 5G can be truly a fundamental enabler and of the digital economy and silver economy as well. And in general, it is really applicable to most of the sectors, because it is the fundamental technology that will realize, if you think, and here I conclude, the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution can be enabled only by the convergence of three fundamental technologies. So you have artificial intelligence, you have all big data related technologies, so like computing, storage, etc. But in order for them flourish, you need connectivity, connected networks, and the connected networks to be wireless, not wireline, and that is 5G.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Is there any other question from the audience?
Hi, David. I'm Sunil here. Your presentation was wonderful. Just wondering, with 5G becoming a reality, is it the way the NBN is going through, is it a necessity for the NBN to upgrade? At the same time, with 5G being a reality in the just coming years, will NBN becomes an absolute? Just your view, please.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Though this question should be asked to our colleagues at NBN, because unfortunately, as of today, I haven't got a chance to work on that project, but I can share something I think, or what my understanding is. So I think the NBN, it is a part of the, in Australia. I'm focusing on Australia because NBN is also New Zealand and other country. In Australia, for example, my understanding is that NBN covers only a part of fixed access to an infrastructure which is then handled by Telstra. So the NBN scope, looking at the target network we need to have in place, is extremely limited. So NBN, it is only covering a limited proportion of this bubble here, when we are expecting the massive reach and coverage coming, especially through wireless. Okay, when we think of an NBN with a fixed wireless access, yes, But when we want to realize an end-to-end infrastructure like in Shenzhen, I don't know whether you had a chance to look at the digital twinnings that is in place in Shenzhen. We will need a massive upgrade of the system. I'm expecting, including NBN, to shift from a 1 gigabit PON to 50 gigabit PON type of access. But that has to be coming along with a complete refreshment, also the aggregation point and the backbone that needs to carry around 400 gigabit per second per lambda. The expectation by 2030 is to have up to 800 gigabit per second per lambda. And NBN, as you can see here now, is still talking about having challenge to sustain around 100 megabit per second. And we will need next to shift to a gigabit type of speed, and then think of upgrading again the network to achieve the target performance.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thanks for your time. It was a great presentation, and it was nice having you here. So thank you very much. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.